Okay. All right, we are recording. So this is for the YouTube episode, which is the Humanizing the Icon channel. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited. All right, I'm going to start the live stream on Facebook.
Okay.
This is a very fascinating process that we have down to a science, but it takes a couple minutes. What are your cats' names?
Oh, they are Seven and Kuda.
Oh, right. I love those names.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, the whole live stream thing is starting.
Okay.
Not there yet.
And you're doing it with House of Fame, right?
I can tag both.
Oh, perfect.
I don't know if I follow. I don't know yet about House of Fame, but let's see.
Which account should I be on?
You don't need to be on any unless you want to be, but it might be distracting. But you don't.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna say Celio. So right now I'm tagging you, so it'll go to your timeline. I'll put House of Fame. Let me see if it pops up. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, House of Fame.
Houseoffame.us. Make
Make
sure it's houseoffame.us.
on Facebook
And Instagram, yeah, both.
well, Instagram I know. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it on Facebook, but that's okay. So I'm going to say going live right now. I'll just hatch.
The Facebook handle is on my website too. If you go to houseoffame.us, you can capture all of the.
Okay. Yeah, I won't be able to do it right now, but you can always share it because you're going to get this on your personal timeline. So
Okay. And so what am I recording on my phone? Or
just hold on, like just give me 1 second here. Okay. We are literally about to go live. So you don't have to actually worry about anything. So I'm going to hit the go live button. Go live. Okay. I'm just going to watch Facebook for a second and make sure we're not on yet, but it's about to be.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just slow.
It says it's streaming live on Facebook.
Yeah, it just takes a second for it to catch up. So now it is on the Facebook timeline officially. So we are live on Facebook, which is very, very exciting always. Okay, so now we do the Instagram piece, okay? This is where it gets really fun. So you're gonna watch your phone and you're gonna see when I go live on Humanizing the Icon and you're gonna request to join me. So you just have to watch your phone so you can hit the request button like right away.
And which one are you requesting? House of Fame?
No, I'm not requesting. You're watching for me to go live and then you request to join me.
Oh, got it. Got it. I got it.
So I'm about to go live from Humanizing the Icon.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. All right, so it does take a little bit. There's a delay and stuff, so I'm going live right now. It's checking connection. I am now live, but it's still gonna take like maybe a minute or 30 seconds or something for you to see.
I see it.
Okay, good. Okay, so now request, yay. Okay, so this is from Particle Project. You don't want it to be from House of Fame, right?
No, I want it to be from House of Fame, sorry.
Okay.
So don't accept me.
I'm not. So Facebook people, we are getting settled here. Denise from House of Fame.
Here we go, here we go.
Is joining me on Instagram so we can be in all places at once. House of Fame. Okay, so request. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So soon, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so now you are on Instagram.
Okay, perfect. Let me, okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
just want to turn the sound off so you don't get feedback. Okay, there we go.
Okay. So you can hear me okay?
Yeah. Do you hear feedback or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, perfect.
Yay. Okay, so first, I'll just introduce Denise is the founder of House of Fame, and I'm so excited to have you on because we've been creatively brainstorming and sharing ideas for, I guess, a year now. Like we've really, right? You came to the Mary Pickford screening, didn't
The
you?
premiere. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the Ace Hotel.
Yes. Yeah, that was
So
epic.
yeah, it was really beautiful. And Celio Bordin, a perception artist who's with us, is going to transform our chat into a live work of art. And he was also part of the Ace Hotel event. He did a portrait of Mary Pickford. Hi, Celio. Okay, so we'll let him do his thing, and it's usually a masterpiece by the end. And I'm like really, really excited to see what happens.
Cool.
My angle on Instagram is a little funny, but I just have to roll with it. So, how are you? How has it been for you these last few months?
It's been great. I think, despite everything that's going on in the world, which is insane, uh, it has been a time of reinvention, reevaluating, creativity, and ingenuity. So I've had a lot of actual success and surprises come out of this experience, gratefully,
Mm-hmm.
um, and trying to focus on that rather than the negative elements.
That's beautiful. Okay, so can you give us a little bit of backstory in terms of your creative endeavors and your business, and what has evolved to be at this moment?
Yes. So I've always loved everything art, music, fashion, entertainment, film. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and when I was in college, I interned at the Cleveland Museum of Art, which is the fourth best art museum in the world. It's magnificent. And I was in the development department there, which interacts with all the different departments and it's on the business side. So that was kind of my step into that merger between the world of business and art.
Mm.
And after that, I worked at a record label, which was imprinted by Universal. And I was going back and forth to New York City a lot. So I ended up moving to New York, was heavily involved in the music scene for many years. And then when ended up landing at Nylon magazine, a fashion magazine that you probably know Nylon. Do you know Nylon?
I know Nylon, and I was just thinking, do you know Heretzi?
No, but it was a lot of people working there at the time, and it had a pretty rapid revolving door.
What years were you there?
So let's see, I was there maybe 2006, 2007. Yeah.
Okay, she might have been gone already, but I was in New York. We probably
Oh, you were
crossed
in New York at that
paths.
time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably did cross paths
Sure,
in
at a
two
party
shifts in the
somewhere.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Nylon was amazing because it's such a creative space, and so many people that I worked with there have moved on to have wildly successful careers in fashion and entertainment. So I was connected with a lot of people doing big things, movers, shakers, people that were driven. And I launched my own company out of there, which
Mm.
is called Particle, Particle Arts Entertainment. And it was heavily focused on events, marketing, brands, but geared towards artists. So I was working a lot with music artists. And then after 10 years of building a business, I realized that I needed to learn more about the business side. And entrepreneurship in general. How do you scale? How do you get investments? When is the right time to take investments? And how do you grow your own self financially? How much should you be saving? Where should you be saving it? What are the right protections to put in place? All these things. So a couple years ago, I immersed myself in that language, in that world. I gained a lot of success and traction just doing financial education, financial literacy, and financial planning. And now I'm coming full circle. COVID was kind of the birth of all of this, bringing the conversations of the two together between particle of that creative world and events and marketing and the financial piece. And so House of Fame was born. And that's the new brand I have now, House of Fame, which we're live on. House of Fame is about showcasing artists' work and giving them a space to really promote what they're up to, while at the same time opening up the conversation of what goes on behind the scenes, the business aspect of it, and having more vulnerable, raw conversations that help each other propel things forward. Because what I've noticed, so Fame in House of Fame stands for fashion, art, music, and entrepreneurship. That's where the name comes from. And what I noticed is so many of us know that the fashion world, the art world is very glamorous, and you perpetrate this lifestyle and you live a lifestyle that's filled with beauty, filled with expression, filled with art. And sometimes, like, we create these Instagram accounts that are beautified and filtered and perfected. But what goes on behind the scenes maybe isn't lined up. Like, I think a lot of people in this space are doing side hustles or doing multiple things to stay afloat or going into debt. So House of Fame is about opening up the conversation about the reality versus what people see, so that we can have a more honest conversation about it and then arm ourselves with the proper tools to have a business that grows and becomes successful and share the realities and learn from each other. So we're not all just like kind of hustling and figuring it out ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like what I say sometimes is bridging that gap between art and commerce, but also getting real about the nuance of what that really means, which is something that you and I are going to do, I think, with this next event that we do in July, is really create this kind of expose about money in independent film and my experience being an artist and needing to finance the projects. I'm really excited to do that with you.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this conversation, and it has so much momentum. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork because they want to be engaged in this. They're looking for the space to navigate through, the reality, especially when something like COVID hits and people lose their primary stream of income, and then they're faced with, well, what's the reality of what I'm dealing with here? How do I survive this? And how can I do better next time?
And what is your philosophy on like the value of money and like what the currency actually represents in through your lens? I'm so like, I'm intrigued by that because it's such an energy that we all have a relationship with. So how do you view money? And that fits into humanizing the icon, because money is pretty iconic. We kind of all feel like it's this thing we're kind of beholden to, or it's like a god or something. Some people treat it like that, and it's scary to not have a connection to it or to not have it flowing,
I would say I'm still in process with this conversation, but
just a brainstorm. Yeah.
My feeling on it. So what I learned from working with a lot of people with their finances is people have a lot of energy on money. And sometimes it's very positive energy and sometimes it's very stuck energy. And the reality of money is it's neither good or bad or, right or wrong. it's just a currency. It's just something we use to exchange other things. So
Mm-hmm.
the meaning we put on money is the meaning it has for each of us individually. So what I try to do is work with people through that conversation of, you know, the fear that might be holding them back or the blocks, so that they can start putting themselves in a better position and improve their relationship with money.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my eyes, if you have financial freedom, the key to financial freedom is the second word, freedom. You have freedom. And once you're free, you can build whatever it is that you want to express. You can now have the ability to do whatever it is you're really yearning to do.
So do you actually work with people on creating a healthier relationship with money as a concept?
Yes, 100%. Yes. It is, sometimes it's a overt conversation and sometimes it's covert. They don't really even know they're having it. And that was the experience for me too, as I was working through learning how it works and starting to save and putting more and more away, that I was changing my conversation. But I think for women especially, um, what I find true for myself and for a lot of women is that there's a deeper conversation with money of self-worth. And so, like, it shows up in how much we are comfortable demanding for our earnings, how
Mm-hmm.
much we're comfortable stepping into power positions,
Mm-hmm.
for example. Um, it seems to me, and from what I've read, that men are much more natural in demanding a salary, negotiating, positioning themselves for more money. And women want that, but they speak a little bit of a different language. So it's about us learning how to still stay in our native language and stay in our true selves, but not be afraid of the power of, using our voice and standing up for what
Mm-hmm.
we really should be earning and what we're worth, and putting up the proper boundaries. And I mean, it's even like comes down to learning sales skills. It's such a dirty word, but like, at the end of the day, we're we're all selling something. It's either I'm selling you on who I am as a brand, or what I do, or my art, or my message,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm trying to sell my mate on, I'm a good catch, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're always like selling ourselves in some capacity. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a dirty word. I think it's about, like, on some level, integrity, and just like, if we are selling something, being transparent about that. Like, I'm going to pitch you something, And also, it's a comfort level around, I think it's a comfort level around talking about money. So there's those things you mentioned of being comfortable to negotiate or being comfortable to command our worth. But even just being comfortable to have a conversation about money, even just like this one, let alone fundraising, you know? Just even talking about it's already so liberating on some level, right? Like, it's something that for some reason is kind of almost an elephant in the room sometimes, you know? And
Yes.
artists often ask me, or filmmakers often ask me, like, how did you get comfortable having money conversations? I mean, it's not always comfortable, but it's still just recognizing that, like food or something, it's a component of our daily life, and our it's part of the flow. So if you want to create these opportunities for yourself, don't you think you have to be willing to talk about money just like you would food, or like what you had for breakfast? Like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I need, and just keep it, I feel like keeping it as simple as it can possibly be has been helpful for me. But Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It took me a while to even like identify myself as a boss, right? A boss babe is like the hashtag I love using now because it to me it means okay, still feminine, still interested in presentation and art
Mm-hmm.
and fashion, but also willing, like fearless, willing to just work hard, do whatever it takes, be a leader, be in business. You know, I think uh, what you were talking about, there's two things that come up for me. The
Yeah.
first thing with sales is what I learned when I was started working in the financial industry is number one, you have to align with what you do. You have to have integrity, just like you said. But when you're in that space of knowing that what you've done and what you preach, you're doing and it's helping you and serving you, you don't have an issue with talking to other people about it. Because
Mm-hmm.
what I do, it grows me every day. It grows me financially, spiritually, my health. I'm becoming better in all areas. So it's like I have no problem sharing it because it's in alignment. And
Mm-hmm.
my mentor taught me that sales, there's two types of sales. The first one is where you leave the sale and you bought something you don't really need or want because you felt pressure from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a second type of sale that is pressure from the inside to take action on like something that you should be doing that's better in your life. Because we've all bought something, right, where we want to tell all our friends because it's improved our lives, be it like a product or a service or somebody we worked with that we want to recommend. So my hope and what I try to do every day when I work with people is serve them so that they're going out and advocating for me. And I know that sometimes I have to go through a block or a breakthrough with them to get them to the next level in whatever they're trying to build in their
Mm-hmm.
financial life. But I know it's serving them. So I don't have a problem helping them find that internal motivation to move forward. And that's the magic of a good salesperson. They're a servant to you, they're helping better your life. And I
Mm-hmm.
think leadership is akin to that, which is a leader is somebody in your life or a mentor that motivates you to compels you to take action in some way that you need to take that you probably wouldn't have taken on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's service in the highest form because that's like the magic that can transform lives, transform communities, transform art, creativity, career. And that's what fires me up.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like it's getting a healthy handle on the role money plays, I guess, in each respective life. Everyone has their own personal goals, and um, I guess that you have to customize the approach depending on who you're interacting with and what their integrity is, just because everyone's would be entirely different, I guess. It's kind of
Yes,
like therapy.
100%. I
It
have a
reminds
master's
me
in
of
psychology.
therapy. Yeah.
I have a master's in spiritual psychology. I use it all the time in this industry
Mm.
for sure. Um, it is. It is like therapy. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
did you have to, so you had to develop your own relationship with money that was not always healthy in your mind, or?
Not always healthy. Definitely
Y-
not. I came in with a lot of debt from just owning a business for so long, and uh, that's yeah, it's not an excuse because if I would have known better, I would have done better. You can certainly own a business without racking up a bunch of debt, but that was my experience.
mhm.
So I was humbled. I with Particle, I've had it for since 2007. So that's what, 13 years now. And I've worked with, I'm so proud to say, the best people in the industry, like brands wise, everybody from Virgin America to, well, now they're no longer, but that was long before
Mm-hmm.
after I worked them. But Tom's, like, he does shoes and eyewear, and Viacom, MTV, the Be Amazing the Movie Awards, and just these really exciting companies. All Saints, I launched them in the US with their team when they came over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of really amazing talent in the industry too, on the music side, and celebrities. And so I felt like what I wanted to accomplish in my career as an entrepreneur, working in the worlds in New York City and Hollywood, I did it. If I wanted to know you, I got to know you. I
Mm-hmm.
was fearless. I think everybody at the end of the day is a person. The
Mm-hmm.
humanizing the icon.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt, from even in my 20s and early age, like, why wouldn't I go talk to this CEO? They're just a person, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was always fearless in that sense. And I succeeded at the highest level in my career with Particle. However, what I didn't know was how much to save, where to put it, how to invest. And so even though I achieved all these career milestones, on the surface, ultimately what I was running was a business at the end of the day. And I wasn't doing some of the things correctly behind the scenes, just because it was lack of education, lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got involved in wanting to pursue that and learn it. I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, whatever I do in the next 10 years, I want to make sure it not only gets me surrounded by the things I love and the people I love and art, and but my lifestyle can really reflect what I want it to be too. I can get financially free and
Mm-hmm.
be able to have freedom to create, travel, all those things.
That's beautiful. So do you work with artists at the like independent artists that don't yet have money, that are fundraising or in charge of their own destiny, so to speak, in terms of getting grants or investors or support? Like, do you somehow come in at that stage when they're maybe starting from ground zero of something?
I try to be a resource for whatever people need financially, and I have a lot of connections. What I personally do is not that. What I personally do is help people with their personal finances, or the business side is about like more benefits, or putting different types of protections in place. For example, like if you have a partnership agreement, helping set you up so that if something happens to one of the partners, you have some sort of insurance in place that's going to protect you from
Mm.
having a huge loss when you just lost an integral part of your business.
Okay.
So it's
So we
more
go
of
to you
that.
once we have a little money.
No, but I actually see people with a lot of debt too. So
Mhm.
I work with debt management companies. So it's everything. There's no wrong phase to start, just
Okay.
start. Whether I'm helping you put $10 a month away so you build a habit of saving, and helping you get out of debt. I can teach you a lot of techniques to get out of debt. Or like, so I have a client with 250,000 in debt. I have clients that have millions of dollars. Doesn't matter what end of the spectrum you're on. Um, my passion is just helping people where they're at. So if you're ready to take action in your life to be in this conversation and set
Mhm.
yourself up, that's when you can come to me. Just don't come to me if you're not ready to take action, because then there's nothing anybody could do. You got to be ready to take the action.
For sure. And I
I
think
love what
I kind
Celio
of
is
lost.
creating.
I lost your voice for a second there.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Um, I know Celio's an amazing artist, and he'll give us the message at the end, like what he's picking up on.
So
So
cool.
House of Fame is really taking that world that you're operating in, and just to reiterate, is to bring the art community all different mediums, to align with the economics and to kind of figure out what that dynamic is, which I think is so powerful and exciting. So can we talk about our event a little bit?
Yeah, and let me just add, so part of that is like putting people together in this space that can help each other. So what I help with is the personal finance and then also proper setups with business. But like you were talking about investment, for example, that's not something I specialize in or do, but I want to open up the conversation around that so I can connect people with resources that can help them in that. So it's a community. It's not just me driving it. It's really community driven.
Okay. So you're a connector. You're like an overall doula. You're like, you can connect a lot of dots. You're like, you're holding space for a variety of different possibilities.
Yes.
I think
that's good.
That's the artist in me, you know? Like,
I love it.
Well, I wanted to ask you, I mean, we don't have to get into too many details about the July event, but just basically to give a snapshot of, you know, why you want to do this event with Humanizing the Icon. As again, our mission is to kind of deconstruct the idea of anything iconic, whether it's identity or systems or idolization, spirituality, or it goes into so many directions. But for our event, we're going to focus on the making of my movie about Mary Pickford, who was known as a businesswoman and an artist. And she was known for operating with both sides of her brain and as the mother of Hollywood. So it's really cool that we're doing this. And so and I've never brought any investors into like Q&As or panels. So even for me as the director and the writer and the visionary, to be able to sit in a conversation with an investor on the movie and really get into how did we find that common language? What made them invest? What did I do or not do? Or so yeah, I want to open that up to you as like why film, why us, and why this is like exciting for us in July.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be such a treat. I'm so excited about it. So yeah, so what we're doing is we are peeling back the curtain from the movie. So we're going to, you're bringing on the investors and the producers from the film. And we're going to talk about what goes into making a film on the business money side, which I think is a big mystery to a lot of people.
Yes.
And then part of the conversation with the investors is going to be, I want to know about their history too, where they come from, how they built their wealth, what did they do with their money, and also why film? Why did they want to invest in film? What does it mean to them? And clearly that conversation is about the importance of art, the importance of it, the impact of it in our society. Film is a medium. So that's the exploration we're going to be doing with that event. And I'm so excited because this is a conversation I'm really intrigued by.
I think it's going to be a little groundbreaking. I'm actually excited. So we're planning on July 15th, and people can kind of stay aware of promotional information about date and time and things like that. But I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, for me, if you're watching this and this is something you're interested in and you don't want to lose track of it, go to houseoffame.us, the website, and then just RSVP for the last event, which is already over, but RSVP for that one and you'll get on the list for the next one. And I'll update it with the flyer for the next one. But for now, if you just RSVP to the last event, you'll get the invite to the next one. So that's like the easiest way.
Well, and we'll have a flyer soon if that's confusing. But yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, so now I want to ask you, what does the word icon conjure for you? And what does even humanizing the icon conjure challenger for you. And there's no right answer. It's really like a freestyle, just kind of exploration of that paradigm.
Okay. So if I'm honest with this, I was raised Catholic, and Catholic imagery is all about like icon worship, which is
Mm.
Mary, Jesus, Joseph, this picture of God. That so when you say icon, that's what initially comes to mind, and that upbringing has led to a lot of exploration in my life. So I
Mhm.
mentioned I have a master's in spiritual psychology. That was the path that I took to really understand myself spiritually, because
Mhm.
growing up in the Catholic religion, it's a lot of ritual, and these
Mhm.
rituals are super outdated. So you're going through motions mechanically that you never, well, in my experience, I did not connect with. I was just going through motions of ritual. And
Mhm.
so anyway, the master's in spiritual psychology was about getting to the core of the spiritual being inside of me and other people. That's the work. So it, in a way, humanized my relationship spiritually with
Mhm.
higher power,
Mhm.
because it made it a lot more accessible. I think that we all have our higher power, God, spirituality. Oh, somehow I got kicked off the Zoom. Hold on.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, hold on. Do you see me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. We're still good. Something
Yeah.
happened. Okay. Um, so that's kind of my initial, mm,
Mhm.
when you say icon, that's what
That's
I
cool. I
envision,
like
those
that. Thank you for sharing that.
crazy statues. But later in life, like I said, in my 20s, when I was starting out and I wanted to get as far and fast as I could in business, I did not want to go to email the associate or assistant. I just went for the CEOs. And
Mhm.
that's how I ended up getting Virgin America as a client. I was emailing, I think it was the CMO at the time, for like a year and a half. And I just kept emailing her, not bombarding her, but like maybe every month or so, I'd send her an email, send her what I was up to. And literally, it was like a year and a half later, she emailed me back, and she just sent me a quick message and she said, "Keep sending me these." And I was like, "Oh, yes, someone's paying attention." And then they became a client. So
Wow.
I think, yeah, at the end of the day, we're all people. I know a lot of celebrities from being in this world, as I'm sure you do. And oh my gosh, they're just people. Everybody's just people. So, like, be careful what you idolize, because at the end of the day, we're all fallible, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that's really good. I definitely relate to this kind of just going for it mentality. I was like that from a super young age. Like I didn't really see barriers for some reason, for better or worse. I don't know that it was always the most positive um, thing that I was doing because I was so fearless. But I mean, no regrets, right? But it's just like I would track down, anyone, like literally, and get jobs that people were like, "How did you end up there?" I grew up in Kansas, and I mean, this is another story, unto itself, but kind of like was kind of on my own with my dreams. So I left home at 17 and moved to LA
Mm.
and was just like calling people from the phone book, like looking for jobs. And I was literally 17. And so what you're saying just reminds me of that. I learned very quickly too that people are just people, and everyone has a
Yeah, just people.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what else conjures up for me this conversation of icon is team, because what we what we perceive as the icon or the celebrity or the talent, or no one is doing it alone. Everybody has a huge team behind them. And so it's, I think today's day and age is really about recognizing, and that's what House of Fame is about, recognizing what goes on behind the scenes, what it takes to put together the stuff that people are seeing, like the finalized product. And you have to remember. And so, I didn't even expect it to come back here, but it's about leadership. Like the icons I want to follow are people that are leaders, which are propelling people towards a vision that is making a positive impact in the world. And they're making the people in their community better people, better versions of themselves as that process is happening. Can you transform a community? If you can transform a community into something better than it was before, the people are better than they were before, and they're passing that on, passing it forward, that's somebody that I want to recognize and like meet.
That's interesting that you brought that up, because actually, Matt Smiley, right?
Oh, I love Matt Smiley.
So he did one of these chats as well. And
oh, cool.
yeah, and he actually brought up the conversation too of leadership and icon. And we got into this interesting kind of deep dive about how they're not interchangeable words. Like, just because you're considered iconic in pop culture does not mean you're a leader. And just because you're a leader doesn't mean you're iconic. It can be the quietest energy that's really the lead, so we had a really colorful conversation about that, the qualities of a leader, and just also how icon is so different than the actual human. The definition of icon is actually image. So
good.
Yeah, it's like the human being is nothing really like the icon. But then you can kind of turn it around and say, well, the icon's within. Like, what are we really seeking when we idolize somebody anyway? Is it connection? Is it love? And the more how you're talking about a spiritual practice, it's like the more you kind of cultivate these qualities within, do we end up even needing this icon or idolization? Can we admire people as leaders or artists or whatever without tipping the scale to idolization? Do you think so, that makes a difference, that if we're finding that self-love or self-worth, as you talked about, and self-love is a real thing, I don't mean to like do that, it's just talked about a lot, but the more you kind of find that strength in your own power, do you think that idolization and worship in the way that we've known it will stay the same anyway as people kind of take their power back, if that's what's happening?
Well, okay, so what it opens up for me is that the things that we admire or attracted to in other people or in icons are projection. It's aspects of ourselves that we hold, that we're yearning to express. So when you can harness that, you can actually utilize that power for your own betterment. Instead of placing it on something outside of yourself and giving that value, giving that thing power over you, you can internalize that power and use it to express something that is yearning to be expressed inside of you. So just as a lot of times when we're angry at someone or we're triggered, it's a projection of a negative aspect of ourselves that we don't want to look at or we don't want to see. They're triggering something internally that is bringing up a memory of the past. But a lot of times it's just a negative shadow side of ourselves that we don't want to look at. And that's why it triggers us. Otherwise, if it didn't have a charge, it would just be something that would pass through. We wouldn't
even notice it. Yeah.
We wouldn't notice. So when you really start to take on yourself and grow and develop yourself, and you realize that it's all inside of you, it's not outside of you, that everything is, we're on a spectrum of humanness. And so there isn't anything in the human expression that exists that we don't have within ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what those feelings that we're experiencing really mean about what's inside of ourselves, then you got a lot more to work with and a lot more power over your own manifestation, the world, the environment, the contribution you make. And that's the healthy place or perspective to come from.
Yes. And then you realize like, oh, human is the icon. That's cool. Like we're just trying to become self-realized, right? So
yes, perfectly said.
And I love that that you're operating on this frequency, and that you are working with money and education around money. It actually makes perfect sense. And I'm so excited to, like and also, the law of attraction is something that I would want to ask you about if we had a little more time. I mean, I guess just in short, is that something that you tend to work with? Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm learning from the best manifestors in the world.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to be associated with very wealthy, accomplished, successful people that have a lot of things, you realize that this is not an accident.
Mm-hmm.
There is a different framework that they operate out of. There is a different way they see the world and their interaction with it. And there is a planning strategy to it. There is a science. And so I have been studying that. I study it every day. And the world is just so much more exciting when you see it through those lenses than when you see it through a lens of the opposite, which can be hopelessness or lack or stuckness,
Oh, we could really talk for a while, because
we could talk forever.
I work with it, and I've had a couple breakthroughs with it recently too, but we'll save that for another time. So first we wrap up on Instagram before we go over to Celio on Facebook, but do you want to offer any closing words or ask me anything, or just say goodbye to people on Instagram?
Yeah. Okay, certainly. So I love to connect with people. So please do connect with me, reach out. I will answer you if you message me. I'm pretty out there on social media and accessible. So just, please feel free to engage. And then if you have any questions for us, you can leave them in the comments. We'll answer them really quick. And then my question for you, Jennifer, is what is your I want to ask you what your 3-year vision is. Like, where do you want to be in 3 years? It's not long term, it's not short term, it's like somewhere in the middle.
I want to be on my own land, cultivating community. I have a vision for I don't know exactly what to say it is, but it feels like an artist's sanctuary, like haven of creativity, and there's like different aspects to that, where you can come and record music, or you can come and be a painter, you can come and write, but you're eating all food from the land. It's a foundation that's giving grants. There's artists supported to be there that are like literally could be off the street from somewhere, it could be the rawest talent, or it could be someone super established who's actually helping to support the community, so it's a kind of blend of a couple different places I've been and things that I felt that I would have loved throughout my journey, mixed with my vision of just wanting to live in a sustainable way and really with the earth. So it kind of brings it like all together for me,
Yeah, that's
at 3 years, like some phase of that. Maybe I will have gotten the land and moved there and it's being created. I don't know what I can think about that, but some phase of that process.
Well, good. You're putting it out into the universe, so it's going to start conspiring to move you in that direction.
Yeah, no, I feel it absolutely. And then even with humanizing the icon, we have some really big plans for we did an art installation in Venice, Italy at the Biennale called Humanizing the Icon. So we were in Italy that's where this kind of kicked off. And it was artwork from the Mary Pickford film and then other artists contributing to the deconstruction of that theme. And so this chat series is like a kind of branch of what happened in Italy. And so we want to do more like art shows and more deconstructions in different spaces, institutions and things. So
I'm all for that.
yeah. Thanks for asking.
Good work. Yeah. Thanks for having me. This was amazing. I'm super excited. So please do come to our event. It's going to be so good.
July 15th.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to be such an interesting conversation. So yeah.
Yes. So we'll stay on Facebook and we'll say goodbye on Instagram. But thank you, Denise. I love you. As Angela McCluskey said, you're a goddess. So
I love you guys.
I agree. Okay. All right. I'm signing us off of Instagram. All right. Bye, people. Okay. Okay. So that's going to go on to IGTV. Hi, Celio.
So
yes.
Hi.
We'll stay on
Okay.
Facebook and we'll say goodbye on Instagram. Right, let me turn my volume down. Okay, there we
go. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoa, look at that face in there. Whoa.
Can you pin him, Jen?
Yeah, I have a gallery view, but yeah, I'll pin him.
Today is becoming a very strange work, but always is particular is what I perceive about this chat communication, and then is two different parts. One we saw is a vortex, right? Is a vortex, but the vortex transform in a ball. Is like a concentrate ball about the trouble of the vortex. Okay,
the vortex
is like the energy coming in the vortex and then start be powerful, but it's like no breath, but transform in a ball and finish in singular in the singular presence. Okay. Oh, today I heard not very well because when I start, but I feel I perceive the energy about money, finance, support for something, investor, and I think this word is not my word. I'm an artist. I'm very bad in the business. But I know businessmen and always never relax. Is always in the trouble for the money. Yes,
hard to relax.
People is happy because have money, but is in the trouble every day. And I think this is a vortex with some people coming, some people spies, some people is like a vortex of protection, but maybe I do, maybe these people take from me, is scared, not very relaxing, is a vortex. Is vortex, and transport is go to close because minimalize the vortex is like a moment of relax, the direction ball is I think I feel because have some person inside.
Wow.
and I think this is a speak an high voice like I win or something. People looking something, people silent, but is the ball of business. Like a
Wow.
vertex energy,
That's
and
so
then
cool.
stealer, winner, loser,
Whoa.
uh, bigger, and then direction the ball. Oh, this is my word. This is the money. But in final is individual. Like, like the money is a movement, a ball, no? A ball, but in final is individual person. Oh, this is my read about the work about today because it's strange. I never do before
It's
work like
strange. He says
this.
it's strange. It was strange today.
Yes, very strange. And then we have some people can watch from back this spy something for video.
That's really wild, Celio. The
Yes, yes.
the money game and everything that you're picking
Uh,
up on is really, really
for,
cool.
for sure, when I start this work, I talk with myself and I said, Celio, what you do it? But I leave the ants go, and at the ends, and I perceive the energy at the ends is work on the support and coming this very wild work, yes, but I love it because it's concentration about a movement, something. Do you understand?
Yeah, about the movement and just and I like these different faces. They're very trippy this time.
Yes, this is the result. This is the goal. This is the goal.
The
The
goal.
goal about
Because money is an energy and it transforms too.
absolutely we
Yeah.
need
I want
always.
to talk about this drawing some more offline one day because this is like actually really inspiring.
Yes, it's very indicative. This is a movement.
And it's like a
The goal.
snail. There's almost like a spiral effect. It's like the
Mm.
cycles, the cycles that we go through too.
Yes, yes, and then very uh, is not real because I stopped to draw, but the ants want to go ahead. But becoming a lot of person in this vortex is inside, depends the side what you moving, but have smaller, have bigger, have smaller.
Very detailed. He only uses a fountain pen, Denise, the
Wow.
whole time. Like,
It's amazing. The details within the chaos are amazing. Celio, what part of the drawing do you feel most comfortable in?
I don't understand, sorry.
what
What part of the drawing do you feel most comfortable in?
like what feels the most relaxed in
Oh, I feel relax this light part empty
empty,
because
no faces. Yeah.
for my person, I love the business, I love money, but the relax is the winner people. I love
Mm,
I
Thank you,
love a lot.
Celio. It's
good.
Yes, it's about the business. The part of relax is the light.
the light.
No thinking, no stress, enjoy the money.
Surrender.
I don't know. Money is important for win the relax, but usually the money make chaos. you know,
Make
because
stress. Yeah.
yes, have to fight, and then uh, the people with the money is stressed because somebody stolen. You
Yeah.
know,
No one's happy. Like that's why
you
it
know
starts within.
because
Yeah.
because because family is not relaxed like the kids not go in the park with the other kids to play because people kidnapping money is beautiful, I love money, but the part best, the amazing part of the money is this: not thinking, enjoy, life is day by day and have to enjoy. And then you see the light part.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the no thinking part.
That's the trip to Paris.
uh, oh, okay.
Yes.
I go close. I come close to. Okay.
I'm gonna put this on IGTV.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, there you are.
I don't.
We don't hear you.
Okay. Now I heard. Nice, amazing today. Very, very intricate French word.
Hold the phone up to you because
Yeah,
we
we
can't
can't hear you.
Okay.
Oh, there, now we can hear you.
Yes, yes. And I think, I hope some drawing I do always. I love is educational for open the mind, for open the soul, open the heart, for live better. Because
Yeah.
this is the goal to the humanizing icon is to be humanized and be,
Heart open.
yes, open the soul, help people, enjoy the life day by day, art for health, mind.
Art for, it's hard to hear you, but art for health, art for mind, art is very powerful for everything. Yeah.
Yes, need to be help, and we need help. With art, we help, and then people help us.
Yes.
Art,
And money is art. I think of everything as art because we created it. Humans
yes,
created it, you know?
yes. And then thank you today because I'm very happy because very different work and always surprise myself and then.
Yeah. It was really fun. So I'm going to take us off of Facebook and then I'll take us off of Zoom for the episode. But that was really fun, Denise.
Yeah, thank you. It was really awesome. I would love to see Celio's like entire art collection after the series. You'll have to do an art opening and show all of them.
We should do it with House of Fame. Yeah, we're talking to museums and stuff. Like we're talking. We want to do it on like a high level. Yeah.
Yeah, the museum.
Yes, I would love to be part of that.
Okay, cool. Thank you,
Cool.
Celio, and
Thank you.
Denise.
And goodbye. Love, health, health.
Money.
And money.
Hugs.
London.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, stop the live stream. Thank you, Facebook people. Okay. And we are still on Zoom, but yeah, this was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was great.
It was
so
fun.
many different conversations we could have gone so deep into.
Well, we can choose a rabbit hole and do a part 2 sometime.
Yeah, let's do it. I would love to.
But you should watch it. It's always fun to watch them because it's like, oh wow, that was really, it was like poetry. It was non-linear. It was cool.
Okay, I'll definitely watch it when you send it. I have to post the other one I did from House of Fame, so that'll be great.
Yeah, so it's up on Instagram now. It's on the IGTV, and then it'll be on your Facebook timeline. And then I'll send you the episode when it's up on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
So we're everywhere.
Awesome.
All right, so I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, have a good night.
Okay, you too. Say hi
Ciao,
to your
Bella.
Okay, bye.
Bye.